is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this sun of York. And all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarums changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and instead of mounting barded steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking-glass, I that am rudely stamped, and want love's majesty to strut before a wanton ambling nymph, I that am curtailed of fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world, scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I walk by them. Why, I, in this weak, piping time of peace, have no delights to pass away the time, unless to spy my shadow in the sun, and descant on mine own deformity. Therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, to entertain these fair, well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain, and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions dangerous, by drunken prophecies, libels, and dreams, to set my brother, Clarence, and the king, the one in deadly hate against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, then this day shall Clarence be closely mewed up by a prophecy that says that G of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be. Dive thoughts down to my soul, here Clarence comes. Brother, good day. What means this armed guard that waits upon your grace?
His Majesty, tendering my person safety, has appointed this conduct to convey me to the town.
Upon what cause, may I know?
Yea, Richard, when I know. For I do protest this, yet I do not. But, as I can learn, he hearkens after prophecies and dreams, and from the crossroad plucks the letter G, and said a wizard told him that by G his issue disinherited should be. And for my name, George, begins with G, it follows in his footsteps that I should be he. These, as I learn, such like toys as these, he moves to commit me now.
Why, this it is, when men are ruled by women. 'Tis not the king that sends you to the tower. My Lady Grey, his wife, Clarence. 'Tis she that tempers him to this extremity. Was it not she, and that good man of worship, Anthony Woodville, her brother there, that made him send Lord Hastings to the tower, from whence this present day he is delivered? We are not safe, Clarence. We are not safe.
I think there's no man secure but the Queen's kindred, night-walking arrows that struts between the King and Mistress Shaw. Heard you not what a humble suppliant Lord Hastings was to earn her delivery?
I beseech your graces both to pardon me. His Majesty the King hath straitly given in charge that no man shall have private conference of what degree soever with his brother.
Even so, and it please your worship, Brackenbury, you may partake of anything we say. We speak no treason. We say the king is wise and virtuous, and his noble queen, well struck in years, fair and not jealous. How say you, madam? Can you deny with this?
With this, my lord, myself have naught to do. I beseech your grace to it all forbear thy conference with the noble duke.
We know thy charge, Brackenbury, and will obey.
We are the queen's abjects and must obey. Brother, farewell. I will unto the king, and whatsoever you will employ me in, were to call upon King Edward's widowed sister, I will perform it to enfranchise you. Meantime, this deep disgrace in brotherhood touches me deeper than you can imagine.
I know, it pleases neither of us well.
Well, your imprisonment shall not be long. Meantime, have patience.
I must perforce. Farewell!
Go. Tread the path that thou shalt never return. Plain, simple Clarence. I do love thee so that I will shortly send thy soul to heaven, if heaven will take the present at our hands. But who comes here? The new-delivered Hastings.
Good time of day unto my gracious lord.
As much unto my good Lord Chamberlain. Well are you welcome to this open air. How hath your lordship brooked imprisonment?
With patience, my lord. As prisoners must. I shall live, my lord, to give them thanks, though, in the course of my imprisonment.
Oh, no doubt. And so shall Clarence too. For they that were your enemies are his, and have prevailed as much on him as on you. What news abroad?
No news so bad abroad as this at home. The king is sickly, weak, and melancholy, and his physicians fear him mightily.
This is bad news indeed. He hath kept an evil diet long, and overmuch consumed his royal person. It is very grievous to be thought upon. Is he in his bed?
He is.
Go you before, and I will follow you. He cannot live, I hope, and must not die till Clarence be packed with post-horse up to heaven. I'll in, to urge his hatred more to Clarence, with lies well steeled with weighty arguments. And, if I fall not in my deep intent, then Clarence hath not another day to live. Then, I'll marry Warwick's youngest daughter. What though I killed her husband and her father, the readiest way to make the wench amends is to become her husband and her father, which will not all so much for love, as for another secret close intent, by marrying her which I must reach on to. But I run before my horse to market. Clarence still breathes. Edward still lives and reigns. When they are gone, then must I count my gains.
Pale ashes of the house of Lancaster, thou bloodless remnant of that royal blood, be it lawful that I invocate thy ghost, to hear the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, and to thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the selfsame hand that made these wounds. Lo, in these widows that led forth thy life, I pour the helpless balm of my poor eyes. Cursed be the hand that made these fatal holes. Cursed the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed the blood that let this blood from hence. If ever he have child, abortive be it, prodigious and untimely brought to light, whose ugly and unnatural aspect may fright the hopeful mother at the view. And that be it his unhappiness. If ever he have wife, let her he made unmiserable by the death of him, as I am made by my poor lord and thee.
Sweet saint, for charity, be not so cursed.
Foul devil, for God's sake, hence, and trouble us not. For thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filled it with cursing cries and deep exclaims. If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. Either heaven, with lightning, strike the murderer dead, or earth, gape open wide and eat him quick, as thou dost swallow up this good king's blood, which is held of it on butchered.
Lady, you know no rules of charity, which renders good for bad, blessings for curses.
Think, thou knowest no law of God nor man, no beast so fierce, but know some touch of pity.
But I know none, and therefore am no beast.
Wonderful when devils tell the truth.
More wonderful when angels are so angry. Fairer than tongue can name me. Let me have some patient leisure to excuse myself.
Fouler than heart can think thee. Thou canst make no excuse current but to hang thyself.
By such despair, I should accuse myself.
And by despairing shouldst thou stand excused for doing worthy vengeance on thyself, which didst unworthy slaughter upon others.
Say that I slew them not.
Why, then they are not dead. But dead they are, and devilish slave by thee.
I did not kill your husband.
Why then he is alive.
Nay, he is dead, and slain by Edward's hand. a slanderous tongue, which laid their guilt upon my guiltless shoulders.
Thou wast provoked by thy bloody mind, which never dreamt on aught but butcheries. Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant ye.
Dost grant me, hedgehog? Then God grant me too, thou mayst be damned for that wicked deed. Oh, he was gentle, mild, virtuous.
The fitter for the King of heaven that hath him.
He is in heaven, where thou shalt never come.
Let him thank me that helped to send him thither, for he was fitter for that place than earth.
Thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes. One place else, if you will hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber.
Ill rest betide the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you.
I hope so.
I know so. The gentle Lady Anne is not the causer of the timeless deaths of these Plantagenets, Henry and Edward, as blameful as the executioner.
Thou art the cause and most accursed fate.
Your beauty was the cause of that effect. Your beauty, which did haunt me in my sleep, to undertake the death of all the world, that I might lie 1 hour in your sweet bosom.
If I thought that, I tell thee, harmless Sally, these nails should rend their beauty from my cheeks.
These eyes could never endure sweet beauty's ray. You should not blemish it if I stood by. As all the world is cheered by the sun, so I by that. It is my day, my life.
Black night overshade thy day, and death thy life.
It is a quarrel, most unnatural, to be revenged on him that loveth thee.
It is a quarrel, just and reasonable, to be revenged on him that slew my husband.
He that bereft thee, lady, of thy husband, did it to help thee to a better husband.
It's better to breathe upon the earth.
He lives that loves thee better than he could.
Where is he?
Here. Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it one wasn't poison for thy sake?
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a fouler toe. Out of my sight. Thou dost infect mine eyes.
Thine eyes, sweet lady, have infected mine.
Would there were basilisks to strike thee dead.
And would they were, that I might die at once. For now they kill me with a living death. Those eyes of thine from mine have drawn salty tears. I never sued to friend nor enemy. My tongue could never learn sweet smoothing word, but now thy beauty has proposed my fee. My proud heart sues and prompts my tongue to speak. Teach not thy lips such scorn, for they were made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. But if thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo, I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword, which if thou please, to hide in this true bosom. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry, but 'twas thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, now dispatch. 'Twas I that stabbed young Edward, but 'twas thy heavenly face that set me on it. Take up the sword again, or take up me.
Arise, dissembler. Though I wish thy death, I will not be the executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do it.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in my tongue.
I fear me both are false.
Then never man was true.
Well, put up your sword.
Then say, my peace is made.
That shall you know hereafter.
Shall I live in hope?
All men I hope live so.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to
Look how this ring encompasseth figure. Even so thy breast encloseth my poor heart. Wear both of them, for both of them are thine.
with all my heart. And much it joys me too, to see you have become so penitent. Trestle back here! Go along with me.
Bid me farewell.
Tis more than you deserve. But since you teach me how to flatter you, imagine I've set the world.
Was ever woman in this humour wooed? Was ever woman in this humour won? I'll have her, but I will not keep her long. What? I that killed her father and her husband, to take her in her heart's extremest hate, the tears in her eyes curses in her mouth, the bleeding witness of her hatred by, having God, her conscience, and these bars against me, and I, nothing to back my suit at all, but the plain devil and dissembling looks. And yet, to win her, all the world to nothing. Upon my life, she finds, although I cannot, myself to be a marvellous, proper man. Shine out, fair sun, till I have bought a glass, that I may see my shadow as I pass.
Patience. I'm certain that the Majesty will soon recover his accustomed health.
In that you brook it in, you make it worse. Therefore, for God's sake, entertain good comfort, and cheer his grace with quick and merry words.
If he were dead, what betide we?
Well, no other harm but the loss of such a lord.
The loss of such a lord includes all harm.
Gods have blessed you with a goodly son, to be your comforter when he's gone.
He's young, and his minority is put unto the trust of Richard Gloucester. A man that loves not you, nor any of us.
Is it concluded that he shall be protector?
It is determined. Not concluded yet, but so must be the king miscarry.
Here comes Buckingham and Derby.
A good time of day unto your royal grace.
God make your majesty happy as you have been.
Saw you the king today, my lord of Derby.
But now the Duchess of Buckingham and myself are come from visiting His Majesty.
What the likelihood of his amendments? Madam, good hope. His grace speaks cheerfully. God grant him health. Did you confer with him?
Madam, we did. He desires to make atonement betwixt the Duke of Gloucester and your brothers, and betwixt them and my Lord Chamberlain, and sent to warn them to his royal presence.
I would all the well, but that will never be. I fear our happiness is at its highest.
They do me wrong, and I will not endure it. Who are they that complain unto the king that I, forsooth, am stern, and love them not? By holy Paul, they love his grace but lightly, that fill his ears with dissentious rumours. Because I cannot flatter, and speak fair, smile in men's faces, smooth, deceive, and cog, duck with French nods and apish courtesy, I must be held a rancorous enemy. Cannot a plain man live and think no harm, but that his simple truth must be abused by silken, sly, insinuating jacks?
To whom in all this presence speaks your grace?
To thee, that hast not honesty, nor grace. When have I injured thee? When done thee wrong? Or thee, or any of your faction? A plague upon you all. His royal person, whom God preserve, better than you would wish, cannot be quiet scarce a breathing while, and you must trouble him with your lewd complaints.
Brother of Gloucester, you mistake the matter. The king, on his own royal disposition, and not provoked by any suitor else, aiming, belike, at your interior hatred, which in your outward action shows itself against my kindred, brothers, and myself, makes him to send that thereby he may gather the ground of your ill will, and so remove it.
I cannot tell. The world is grown so bad that wrens may prey where eagles dare not perch. Since every Jack became a gentleman, there is many a gentle person made a Jack.
Come, come, brother of Gloucester, we know your meaning. You envy my advancement and my Francis. God grant we may never have need of you.
Meantime, God grants that we have need of you. My brother is imprisoned by your means, myself disgraced, and the nobility held in contempt.
I never did incense his majesty against the Duke of Clarence, but have been an earnest advocate to plead for him. My lord, you do me shameful injury, forcefully to draw me these vile suspects.
You may deny. You were not the cause of my Lord Hastings' late imprisonment.
She made, my lord.
Oh, she made Lord Rivers. Why, who knows not so? She may do more, sir, than denying that. She may help you to many fair preferments, then deny her aiding hand therein, and lay those honours on your high desert.
My lord of Gloucester! Too long have I borne your blunt upbraidings and your bitter scoffs. By heaven, I will acquaint his majesty with those gross taunts I have often endured. I had rather be a country servant maid than a great queen with this condition, to be thus taunted, scorned, and baited at. Small joy have I in being England's queen.
And lessened be that small guard, I beseech thee. Thy honour, state, and seat is due to me.
What? Threat you me with telling of the king? Tell him, and spare not. Look, what I have said, I will avouch in presence of the king. I dare adventure to be sent to the tower. 'Tis time to speak. My pains are quite forgot.
Out, devil! I remember them well. Thou slewest my husband Henry in the tower, and Edward my poor son at Tewkesbury.
Ere you were queen, or your husband king, I was a pack-horse in his great affairs, a weeder out of his proud adversaries, a liberal rewarder of his friends. To royalize his blood, I spilt mine own.
Yea, and much better blood than his or thine.
In all which time, you and your husband, Grey, were factious with the house of Lancaster, and Rivers, so were you. Let me put in your minds what you have been ere now, and what you are, with all what I have been and what I am.
A murderous villain, and so still thou art.
Lord of Gloucester, in those busy days, which here you urged to prove us enemies, we followed then our lord, our lawful king, and so should be you, if you should be our king.
If I should be, I had rather be a peddler. Far be it from my heart, the thought of it.
Yes, little joy, my lord, as you suppose you should enjoy, were you this country's king. As little joy may you suppose in me that I enjoy, being the queen thereof.
Hear me! You wrangling pirates, and fall out in sharing that which you have killed from me. Which of you trembles not and looks on me? Oh, gentle villain, do not turn away.
Foul wrinkled witch! What makest thou in my sight? Wert thou not banished on pain of death?
I was, but I do find more pain in banishment than death can yield me here by my abode. A husband and a son thou owest to me, and thou a kingdom, all of you allegiance. The sorrow that I have by right is yours, and all the pleasures you usurp are mine.
So justice guard to right the innocent.
It was the foulest deed to slay that babe, and the most merciless that ever was heard of.
Tyrants themselves wept when it was reported.
No man but prophesied revenge for it.
Northumberland then present wept to see it.
What? Were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat and turn you all your hatred now on me? Can curses pierce the clouds and enter heaven? Why then give way, dull clouds, to my quick curses. If not by war, by surfeit die your king, as ours by murder to make him a king. Edward, thy son, which now is Prince of Wales, for Edward, my son, that was Prince of Wales, die in his youth by like untimely violence. Thyself, a queen, for me that was a queen, outlive thy glory like my wretched self. Long mayest thou live to wail thy children's loss, and see another, as I see thee now, decked in thy rights as thou art stalled in mine. Long die thy happy days before thy death, and after many lengthened hours of grief, die neither mother, wife, nor England's queen. Rivers and Dorset, you always stand us by, and so wast thou, Lord Hastings, when my son was stabbed with bloody daggers. God, I pray him that none of you may live your natural age, but by some unlooked accident, cut off.
Have done. Have done thy charm, thou hateful, withered hag.
And leave out thee. Stay, dog, for thou shalt hear me. If heaven have any grievous plague in store exceeding those that I can wish upon thee, oh, let them keep till thy sins be ripe, and then hurl down their indignation on thee, the troubler of the poor world's peace. The worm of conscience still begnaw thy soul. Thy friends suspect for traitors while thou livest, and take deep traitors for thy dearest friends. No sleep, close up that deadly eye of thine, unless it be while some tormenting dream affrights thee with a hell of ugly devils. Thou elvish, marked, abortive, rooting hog, thou that wast sealed in thy nativity, the slave of nature and the son of hell, thou slander of thy mother's heavy womb, thou loathed issue of thy father's loins, thou rag of honor, thou detested. Oh, let me make period to my curse.
This is done by me, and ends in Margaret.
Thus have you breathed your curse against yourself.
Poor, painted queen, vain flourish of my fortune. Why strewest thou sugar on that bottle spider whose deadly web ensnareth thee about? Fool, fool, thou whettest a knife to kill thyself. The time will come when thou shalt wish for me to help thee curse that poisonous bunchback toad.
False, boding woman! End thy fancy curse, lest to harm thyself thou move our patience.
Foul shame upon you! You have all moved mine!
Were you well served, you would be taught your duty.
Dispute not with her, she's lunatic.
Oh, that your young nobility could judge what's worth to lose it and be miserable.
Marry. Good counsel. Learn it. Learn it, Marchioness.
It touches you, my lord, as much as me.
Yea, and much more. But I was born so high, our airy buildeth in the cedar's top, and that is with the wind and scorns the sun.
Your airy buildeth in our airy's nest, as it was one with blood, lost be it so!
Have done! For shame, if not for charity.
Urge neither charity nor shame to me. Uncharitably with me have you dealt, and shamefully by you my hopes are butchered.
Have done. Have done.
Oh, princely Buckingham, I'll kiss thy hand in sign of league and amity with thee. Thy Thy garments are not spotted with our blood, nor thou within the compass of my curse. Oh, Buckingham, take heed of yonder dog. Look, when he fawns, he bites. And when he bites, his venom tooth will rankle to the death. Have not to do with him. Beware of him. Sin, death, and hell have set their marks on him, and all their ministers attend on him.
What does she say, my lady of Buckingham?
Nothing that I respect, my gracious lord.
What? Hast thou scorned me for my gentle counsel? Soothe the devil that I warn thee from? Oh, but remember this, another day, when he shall split thy very heart with sorrow and say, poor Margaret was a prophetess.
My head will stand on end to hear her curse.
So doth mine. I muse why she's at liberty.
I cannot blame her.
What
By God's holy mother, she hath known too much wrong. And I repent any part thereof that I have done to her.
I never did her any to my knowledge.
But you have all the vantage of the wrong. God pardon them that are the cause of it.
A virtuous and Christian-like conclusion. To pray for them that have done scathe to us.
So do I ever. Being well advised, had I cursed now, I'd curse myself.
Madam, His Majesty doth call for you, and for your grace, and you, my noble lords.
Kate, will we go? Lords, will you go with us?
Madam, we will attend your grace.
I do the wrong, and first begin to brawl. The secret mischiefs that I set abroach, I lay unto the grievous charge of others. Clarence, whom I indeed have laid in darkness, I do beweep to many simple gods, namely Derby, Hastings, and Buckingham, and say it is the Queen and her allies that stir the Duke against the King. Now they believe it, and withal wet me to be revenged on Rivers and Grey. Then I sigh, and with a piece of scripture tell them that God bids us do good for evil. Thus I clothe my naked villainy, with old odd ends stolen out of Holy Writ, and seem a saint, when most I play the devil. But soft, here come my executioners. How now, my hardy, stout, resolved mates? Are you now going to dispatch this deed?
We are, my lord, and come to have the warrant that we may be admitted where he is.
Well thought upon. I had it here about me. When you have done, repair to Crosby Place. But, sirs, be sudden in your execution. Withal obdurate, do not let him speak. For Clarence is well spoken, and may well move your hearts to pity, if you mark him.
Tush, fear not, my lord, we will not stand to prate. Talkers are no good doers. Be assured, we come to use our hands, and not our tongues.
Your eyes drop millstones, when fools' eyes drop tears. I like you lads. About your business straight.
We will, my noble lord.
time, for I long to hear you tell it.
We thought that I had broken from the tower and was embarked to cross to Burgundy, and in my company my brother Gloucester, who from my cabin tempted me to walk upon the hatches. And as we paced along the giddy footing of the hatches, methought Gloucester stumbled, and in falling struck me. Oh, that thought to stay him overboard into the tumbling billows of the main. Lord, Lord, methought what a pain it is to drown.
But awakened you not with this sore agony.
Oh, my dream lengthened after life. Then began the tempest of my soul. Then came wandering by a shadow-like angel with bright hair, dabbled in blood, and squealed out loud.
Clarence comes, false, bleeding, perjured Clarence that stalked me in the fields by treachery. Seize on him, furies, take him to your torments. I tremble, wait.
And for a season could not but believe that I was in hell. Some terrible dress made that free.
No wonder it would have frightened you, my lord. I promise, I'm afraid to hear you tell it.
Gregory, I've done those things that bear evidence against my soul. Oh, for Edward's sake, and see how he requaints me now. I pray thee, gentle keeper, stay by me. My soul is heavy, and I fain would sleep.
I will. May the gods give you great good rest.
Oh, yes! Who's here?
My God, what are you, and how came you hither?
I would speak with Clarence, and I came hither on my legs.
Yea? Are you so brief?
Oh, madam, it is better to be brief than tedious. Show her our commission. Talk no more.
I am, in this, commanded to deliver the noble Duke of Clarence to your hands. Here the keys. There sits the noble Duke asleep. Now I shall to the king and thus signify to him that thus I have relieved my charge to you.
Do so. It is a point of wisdom. Fare you well.
Shall we stab Master Sleeps?
No. Then he will say 'twas done cowardly when he wakes.
When he wakes? Why, fool, he'll never wake. Till Judgment Day.
What? Art thou afraid?
Not to kill him, having a warrant for it, but to be damned for killing him, from which no warrant can defend us. Faith, some dregs of conscience yet hang within me.
Remember our reward when the deed is done.
Zounds, he dies. I forgot the reward.
Where is thy conscience now?
In the Duke of Gloucester's purse. Come, shall we do this gear?
Take him over the costard with the hilt of thy axe, and then we will stab him in the mounty butt in the next room.
Ooh, excellent device. Make a sop of him.
Ah! He stirs. Shall I strike?
No. First, let's reason with him.
Where art thou, keeper? Give me a cup of wine.
You shall have wine enough, my lord, and on.
In God's name, what art thou?
A man, as you are.
But not as I am. Royal.
Nor you, as we are, loyal.
How darkly and how deadly dost thou speak? Why, your eyes do menace me. Why you look so pale? Who sent you hither, and wherefore do you come? To murder me?
Aye.
You scarcely have the heart to say it, and cannot have the heart to do it. When, my friends, have I offended you?
Offended us, you have not, but the king.
I said be reconciled to him again.
Never, my lord, and therefore, prepare to die.
Are you called for from out of the world to slay the innocent? my offence? Where is the evidence that do accuse me? Before I be convicted by the course of law to threaten me to death is most unlawful.
What we will do, we do upon command.
And he that hath commanded is the king.
Erroneous vassal! The great King of Kings has in his table of law commanded that thou should do no murder. And wilt thou spurn at his edict and fulfill a man's? Take heed, he holds vengeance in his hands to hurl upon the heads that do break his laws.
That same vengeance doth he hurl on thee, for force for swearing and for murder too. Thou didst receive the holy sacrament to fight the quarrel of Lancaster.
And, like a traitor to the name of God, didst break that vow, and with thy treacherous blade unripped the bowels of thy sovereign son,
whom thou wast sworn to cherish and defend.
How canst thou urge God's dreadful law on us, when thou hast broken in so dear degree?
Alas! For whose sake did I that ill deed? For Edward, for my brother, for his sake. Why, sirs, he sent you not to murder me for this, for in this sin he is as deep as I. If you be hired for meed, go you back, and I'll send you to my brother Gloucester, who will reward you better for my life than it was for the timing for my death.
You are deceived. Your brother Gloucester hates you.
Oh no, he loves me. He holds me dear. Go you to him from me.
Aye, so we will.
Tell him that when our princely father York blessed his 3 sons with his victorious arm and charged us from his soul to love each other, little did he think of this divided friendship. Bid Gloucester to think on that, and he will weep.
Thou deceivest thyself. 'Tis he that sends us now to slaughter thee.
It cannot be. When he parted with me, he hugged me in his arms and swore with sobs to labor my delivery.
Why, so he doth. Now he delivers you from the thraldom of this world to the joys of heaven.
Relent and save our souls.
Relent! 'Tis cowardly and womanish.
Not to relent. This beastly, savage, devilish. Which of you, if you were a prince's son being pent from liberty, as I am now, 2 murderers as yourself came to you, would not entreat for life?
Look behind you, Lord! Take that! I'll drown you to bloody foot with it!
Why so? Now have I done a good day's work. You peers, continue this united league. I every day expect an ambassage from my Redeemer to redeem me hence. And now, in peace, my soul shall part to heaven, as I have set my friends at peace on earth. Rivers and Hastings,
Take each other's hands. Dissemble not your hatred. Swear your love.
My heart is purged from grudging hate. With my hand, I seal my true heart's love.
So thrive I, as I truly swear love.
Madam, yourself are not exempt from this. Nor your daughter, Dorset, Buckingham, nor you. You've been factious, one against the other. Wife, love Lord Hastings. Let him kiss your hand, and what you do, do it unfeignedly.
Here, Hastings. I will never more remember our former hatred. So far I am mine.
Dorset, embrace him. Hastings, love Lady Marchioness.
This interchange of love, I here protest, upon my part shall be unviolable.
And so thrive I, my lady.
Now, Princely Buckingham, seal out this league with thy embracement to my wife's allies. Make me happy in your unity.
Whenever Buckingham doth turn her hate on you or yours, but with all duteous love doth cherish you and yours, God punish me with hate in those where I expect most love.
A pleasing cordial, Princely Buckingham, is this thy vow unto my sickly heart. There wanteth now our brother Gloucester here to make the perfect period of this peace.
And in good time, here comes the noble duke.
Good morrow to my sovereign king and queen, and princely peers, a happy time of day.
Happy indeed, as we have spent the day. Brother, we have done deeds of charity, made peace enmity, fair love of hate between these swelling, wrong-incensed peers.
A blessed labour, my most sovereign liege. If I, unwittingly, or in my rage, have aught committed that is hardly borne by any in this presence, I do desire to reconcile me to his friendly peace. 'Tis death to me to be at enmity. I hate it, and desire all good men's love. Madam, I entreat true peace of you, which I will purchase with my duteous service. Of you, Lady Buckingham, if ever a grudge were lodged between us. Of you, Lord Rivers, and Lord Grey, of you, that without desert a frown on me. Dukes, earls, noblemen, lords, indeed of all.
A holy day shall this be kept hereafter. I would to God all strife were well confounded.
My sovereign liege, I do beseech your majesty to take our brother Clarence to your grace.
Madam, have I offered love for this? To be so bouted in this royal presence? Who knows not that the noble duke is dead?
Who knows not he's dead? Who knows he is?
All-seeing heaven, what a world is this?
Is Clarence dead? The order was reversed.
Oh, but he, poor soul, by your first order died, and that a winged Mercury did bear. Some tardy cripple bore the countermand that came too late to see him buried.
A boon, dear sovereign, for my service done.
I pray thee peace. My soul is full of sorrow.
I will not rise until your majesty grant.
And speak at once what it is thou demandest.
The forfeit, dear sovereign, of my servant's life, who slew today a righteous gentleman, lady attendant of the Duke of Norfolk.
Have a tongue to doom my brother's death, and shall the same give pardon to a slave? My brother slew no man. His fault was thought. And yet his punishment was cruel death. Who sued to me for him? Who, in my rage, kneeled at my feet and begged me be advised? Who spake of brotherhood? Who spake of love? Who told me the poor fool did forsake the mighty Warwick? Did come to fight for me? All this from my remembrance, Brutus' wrath sinfully plucked. And not a man of you with so much grace to put it in my mind. Oh God! I feel like justice will take hold of me. And you, and mine, and yours for this! Come, Hastings, into my closet. Poor Clarence.
This is the fruit of rashness. Saw you not how that the guilty kindred of the Queen looked pale when they heard of Clarence's death? God will revenge it. Come, let us in to comfort Edward with our comfort.
We wait upon your grace.
Why do you wring your hands and beat your breast and cry, "O Clarence, my unhappy son"?
You mistake me much. I do lament the sickness of the king, as loath to lose him, not my Clarence's death. It were Lord's sorrow to will one that's lost.
Then you conclude that he is dead. The king is to blame for this. God will avenge him. And I will importune with daily prayers all to that effect.
Peace. The king doth love you well. You cannot guess who caused my son's death.
But I can, for my good Gloucester talk. The king, provoked by the queen, devised impeachments to imprison him.
Oh, that deceit should steal such gentle shapes, and with the virtuous wits that hide foul guile. He is my son, yea, and therein my shame. Yet for my dogs he do not this deceit.
Think you, Gloucester, did dissemble?
Aye, boy.
I cannot think it. Hark, what noise is this?
Who shall hinder me to wail and weep? To join my fortune and torment myself?
What means this scene of rude impatience?
To make an act of tragic violence. Edward, my lord, your son, our king, is dead. Why grow the branches, now the root is withered? Why wither not the leaves, the sap being gone?
I have bewept a worthy husband's death, and lived by looking on his images. But now 2 mirrors of his princely semblance are cracked in pieces by malignant death. And I, for comfort, have but one false glass which grieves me when I see my shame in him. Thou art a widow, yet thou art a mother, and hast the comfort of thy children left thee. But death has snatched my husband from mine arms, and pluck 2 crutches from my feeble limbs, Edward and Clarence? Or would crucify thine being but a moiety of my grief, to overgo thy plaints and drown thy cries?
Oh, give me no help in lamentations. I'm not barren to bring forth complaints of. For my husband, for my dear Lord Edward.
Alas for both mine, Edward and Clarence.
What stay had I with Edward? And he's gone.
What stay had I but they, and they are gone?
Was never widow had so dear loss.
Was never mother had so dear loss. Alas, I am the mother of these moans. I am your sorrow's nurse, and I will pamper you with lamentations.
Madam, bethink you, like a careful mother of the young prince, your son, sing straight for him. Let him be crowned. In him your comfort lives. Drown desperate sorrow in dead Edward's grave, and plant your joys in living Edward's throne.
Madam. Oh, madam. Have comfort. All of us have cause to wail the dimming of our shining star, but none can cure their harms by wailing them. Madam, my mother, I do cry you mercy. Humbly, on my knee, I crave your blessing.
God bless thee and put meekness in thy mind, love, charity, obedience, and true duty.
Amen, and make me die a good old man.
You cloudy princes and heart-sorrowing peers, that bear this mutual heavy load of moan, now cheer each other in each other's love. Though we have spent our harvest of this king, we are to reap the harvest of his son. Meseems good that with some little train, forthwith from Ludlow the young prince be fetched, hither to London to be crowned our king.
Why, with some little train, my noble Buckingham?
The fear of harm, as harm apparent in mine opinion, ought to be prevented.
I hope the king made peace with us all, and the compact is firm and true in me.
And so in me. And so I think in all. Yet, since it is but green, it should be put to no apparent likelihood of breach. Therefore, I say with noble Buckingham, that it is meet so few should fetch the prince.
So say I.
Then be it so, and go we to determine who they shall be that straight shall post to Ludlow. Madam, and you, my mother, will you go and give your censures in this weighty business?
With all our hearts.
My lord, whoever journeys to the prince, for God's sake let not us two be behind, for by the way our sole occasion to part the queen's proud kindred from the king.
My other self, my council's consistory, my oracle, my prophet. I, like a child, go by thy direction. Come, towards Ludlow then, will not stay behind.
Last night I hear they lay at Northampton. At Stony Stratford will they be tonight, tomorrow, or next day they will be here.
I long with all my heart to see the prince. I hope he's much grown since last I saw him.
I hear. No, they say my young son of York had almost overtaken him in his growth.
My mother, but I will not have it so.
Why, my young cousin? It is good to grow.
Brandon, one night, as we did sit at supper, my Uncle Rivers talked how I did grow more than my brother. I, quoth my Uncle Gloucester, small herbs have grace, great weeds do grow apace. And since methinks I would not grow so fast, since sweet flowers are slow and weeds make haste.
Good faith, good faith. The same did not hold in him that object the same to thee. He was the wretchedest thing when he was young, so long a growing and so leisurely. that if this rule were true, he should be gracious.
Aye, madam, so no doubt he is.
I hope he is, but yet that mother's doubt.
Oh, here comes a messenger. What news?
Such news, my lord, as grieves me to unfold.
How fares the prince?
Well, madam, and in health.
What is thy news then?
Lord Rivers and Lord Grey are sent to Pomfret, prisoners.
Who hath committed them?
The mighty Duke of Gloucester and Duchess of Buckingham.
For what offence?
The sum of all I can I have disclosed. Why and for what these nobles were committed is all unknown to me, my gracious lady.
Ay me, I see the downfall of our house.
Accursed and unquiet wrangling days. How many of you have mine eyes beheld? My husband lost his life to get the crown, and often up and down my sons were tossed. Made war upon himself. Blood against blood, self against self. All preposterous and frantic outrage and thy damned spleen. Or let me die to look on death no more.
Come, my boy, we will to sanctuary. Madam, farewell. I'll go along with you.
My gracious lady, go and thither bear your treasure and your goods. Come, I'll conduct you to the sanctuary.
Welcome, sweet prince, to London, to your chamber.
Welcome, cousin. I thought, sovereign, the weary way hath made you melancholy.
No, uncle, but our crosses on the way have made it wearisome, tedious, and heavy. I want more uncles here to welcome you.
Sweet prince, the untainted virtue of your years hath not yet dived into the world's deceit. Those uncles which you want were dangerous. Your grace attended to their sugared words, but looked not on the poison of their hearts. God keep you from them, and from such false friends.
God keep you from false friends, but there were none. I thought my mother and my brother York were long ere this had met us on the way. Fie, what a slut is Hastings, and he comes not to tell us whether they were.
And in good time, here comes the sweaty lord.
Welcome, my lord. What, will our mother come?
The Queen, your mother, and your brother York have taken sanctuary. The tender prince would fain have come with me to meet your grace, but by his mother was perforce withheld.
Fie, what an indirect and peevish course is it of hers. Cardinal, will your grace persuade the Queen to send the Duke of York on to his princely brother presently, if she deny Lord Hastings go with, and from her jealous arms pluck him perforce?
God in heaven forbid we should infringe the holy privilege of blessed sanctuary. Not for all in this land would I be guilty of so deep a sin.
You are too senseless. Obstinate, my liege. Too ceremonious and traditional. Weigh it but with the grossness of this age. You break not sanctuary in seizing him. The benefits thereof are always granted to those whose dealings have deserved the place, and those who have the wit to claim the place. This prince hath neither claimed it, nor deserved it, and therefore, in mine opinion, cannot have it.
My lady, you should overrule my mind for once. Come on, Lord Hastings, will you go with me?
I go, Cardinal.
They go with speedy haste, you mean. Say, Uncle Gloucester, if our brother come, where should we join to our coronation?
Where it seems best unto your royal self. If I may counsel thee, your highness shall repose you some day or two at the tower, then where you please, and shall be thought most fit for your best health and recreation.
I do not like the tower of any place. Did Julius Caesar build that place, my lady? He did, my gracious lord, begin that place, which since succeeding ages have re-edified.
That Julius Caesar was a famous man. Death makes no conquest of his conqueror, for now he lives in fame, though not in life. I tell you what, my cousin.
What, my gracious lord?
If I live until I be a king, I'll win our ancient right in France again, or die a soldier as I lived a king.
Short summers lightly have a thought.
Now in good time, he was Duke of York.
Richard of York! How fares our loving brother?
Well, my dread lord, so must I call you now?
say so.
Then is he more beholding to you than I? Uncle, is that a dagger I see before me? I pray you, Uncle, give me this dagger.
My dagger, little lord. With all my heart.
A beggar, brother?
Of my kind uncle that I know will give, and be but a toy, which is no grief to give.
A greater gift than that I will give my cousin.
A greater gift? Oh, that's the sword to it.
Fair cousin, were it light enough.
Oh, then I see you will part with light gifts. In weightier things you'll say a beggar nay.
It is too heavy for your grace to wear.
I weight lightly or heavier.
What? Would you have my weapon, little lord?
I would, that I might thank you as you call me.
How?
Little.
My lord of York will still be cross and talk. Uncle, your grace knows how to bear with him.
You mean to bear me, not to bear with me. Uncle, my brother mocks both you and me. Because I'm little like an ape, he thinks that you should bear me on your shoulders.
What a sharp reply to movement, he reasons. To mitigate the scorn he gives his uncle, he prettily and aptly taunts himself. So cunning and so young is wonderful.
My lord, will it please you pass along? My cousin Buckingham and I will unto your mother, to entreat of her to meet you at the tower and welcome you.
What? Will you go on to the tower, my lord?
My lord protects a need to have it so.
Well, I shall not sleep quiet at the tower.
Why? What should you fear?
Mary, my Uncle Clarence's angry ghost. My granddad told me he was murdered there.
I fear no uncle's dead.
Nor none alive, I hope.
And if they live, I hope I need not fear. But come, my lord, and with a heavy heart, thinking on them, I go into the tower.
Tis a parlous boy, bold, quick, ingenious, forward, capable. He is all the mother's, from top to toe.
Well, let them rest. Come hither, Catesby. Thou knowest our reasons urged upon the way. What thinkst thou? Is it not an easy matter to make William Lord Hastings of our mind, for the installment of this noble duke in the seat royal of this famous isle?
Hastings, for his father's sake, so loves the prince that he will not be one to against him.
What thinks thou then of Derby? What will he?
He doth all in all as Hastings does.
Well then, no more but this. Go, gentle Catesby. Summon Hastings tomorrow to the tower. Sit about the coronation. If thou dost find him tractable to us, encourage him and show him all our reasons. If he be litten, icy cold, unwilling, be thou so too, and so break off your talk, and give us notice of his inclination.
My noble lords, lady.
Now, my lord, what shall we do if we perceive Lord Hastings will not yield to our complots?
Chop off his head. But come, let us sup betimes that we may digest our complots in some form.
Many good morrows to my noble lord.
Good morrow, Catesby. You are early stirring. What news in this our tottering state?
'Tis a reeling world indeed, my lord, and I believe 'twill never stand upright till Richard wear the garland of the realm.
How? Wear the garland? Dost thou mean the crown?
Aye, my noble lord.
I'll have this crown of mine cut from my shoulders ere will see the crown so foul misplaced. But canst thou guess that he doth think that?
I on my life, and hopes to find you forward upon his party, and the gains thereof. And thereupon he sends you this good news, that your enemies, the kindred of the Queen, must die at Pomfret.
Indeed, I am no mourner for that news. Yes, they have been still mine enemies. But that I shall give my voice on Richard's side to bar my master's heir in true descent. God knows I will not do it.
God keep your lordship in that gracious mind.
But I shall laugh at this. 12 months hence, that they who broke me in my master's hate are left to look upon their tragedy.
'Tis a vile thing to die, my noble lord, when men are unprepared and look not for it.
Oh, monstrous. Monstrous. And so falls out the rivers and grave. So 'twill do with some men else who think themselves as safe as thou and I, from the knowest that dear to princely riches and to Buckingham.
The princes both make high account of you. They account as head upon the bridge.
I know they do, and I have well deserved it.
Good morrow, my lord. Morrow, my lord, I do not like these several councils accord,
My lord, do not fear the separated council. Your honour and myself are at the one. And the other is my servant Catesby, where nothing can proceed that toucheth us. Think you, but that I know our state secure, I would be so triumphant as I am.
The lords at Pomfret, when they rode from London, were jocund and thought their state was sure, and they indeed had no cause to mistrust. But you see how quick the day overcast. I pray God I prove a needless coward.
Come. Have with you. Today the Lord should speak about beheaded.
They, for the truths, had better wear their heads than some who accuse them wear their hats. But come, my lord, let's away.
Come, bring forth the prisoners!
Today shall thou behold a true subject die, for truth, for duty, and for loyalty.
God keep the prince from holding back of you! I know what you are, of damned bloodsuckers! Dispatch! The limit of your lives is out. Now Margaret's curse is fallen upon our heads. For standing by when Richard stabbed his son.
Then curse you Hastings. Then curse you Buckingham. Then curse you Richard. Remember God to hear the prayers of them, as now for us.
Make haste, the hour is expiate.
Come, Grey, let's embrace, and take our leave until we meet in heaven.
At once, the cause why we are met is to determine of the coronation. In God's name speak, when is the royal day?
All things fitting for that royal time.
They are, and want but nomination.
Who knows the Lord Protector's mind herein? Who's most inward with the royal duke?
Your Grace, we think, should soonest know his mind.
Why? We know each other's faces, but for our hearts, he knows no more of mine than I of yours, nor I no more of his than you of mine. Lord Hastings, you and he are in love.
I thank her grace, I know he loves me well. But for his purpose in the coronation, I have not sounded him. Nor he delivered his gracious pleasure any way therein. But you, my noble lords, may name the time, and in the Duke's behalf I'll give my voice, which I presume he'll take in gentle parts.
Now in good time, here comes the Duke himself.
My noble lords and cousins all, good morrow. I have been long the sleeper, but I hope that my absence doth neglect no great designs which by my presence might have been concluded.
Had not you come upon your cue, my lord, William Lord Hastings have pronounced your part, I mean your voice, for crowning of the king.
Then, my Lord Hastings, no man may be bolder. His lordship knows me well and loves me well.
I thank you, Grace.
Cousin of Buckingham, a word with you. Catesby hath sounded Hastings in our business, and finds the testy gentleman so hot as he will lose his head ere give consent.
Withdraw your hence, my lord. I'll follow you.
His grace looks cheerfully and smooth today. There's some conceits or others like him when he doth bid good moral with such a spirits.
But what of his heart? Perceived you in his face by any likelihood he showed today?
Marry, there was no man here he's offended. For were he would have shown it in his looks.
I pray God he be not, I say.
And pray you all, tell me what they deserve, that do conspire my death, with devilish plots of damned witchcraft, and that have prevailed upon my body with their hellish charms.
I say, my lord, they have deserved death.
Then be your eyes the witness to this ill. Behold, mine arm is like a blasted sapling, all withered up. And this is Edward's wife, that monstrous witch, that by her witchcraft thus hath marked me.
If she had done such a thing.
If. Thou protector of this damned strumpet, tellest thou me of ifs? Thou art the traitor. Off with his head. By St. Paul, I swear I will not dine until I see the same. Look that it be done. The rest that love me, rise and follow.
Woe, woe for England. Long wit for me. For I too fond might have prevented this. We did dream the board they raised his helm. Disdained it. Did scorn to fly. Oh, Margaret! Margaret, now thy heavy curses lights it on poor Hastings' wretched head.
Dispatch, my lord. The Duke would be at dinner. Make a short shrift. He longs to see your head.
Come, come, dispatch. 'Tis bootless to explain.
Oh, bloody Hastings! Mercy for England! lead me to the brook. Bear him my head. They laugh at me! They say, shall be dead! Ah!
Come, cousin. Canst thou quake and change thy colour, as if thou wert distraught and mad with terror?
Tut, I can counterfeit the deep tragedian, tremble and start a wagging of the straw. But what, is Catesby gone?
He is. And look, he brings the mayor along.
Lord Mayor, reason yes.
Here's the head of that ignoble traitor!
The dangerous!
And not suspected, Hastings!
So dear, I love the man that I must weep. I thought him the most plain and simple creature that breathed upon this earth a Christian.
Well, he was the covetous sheltered traitor that ever lived. Would you imagine, or almost believe, the subtle traitor this day had plotted in the council house to murder me and my good lord of Gloucester?
What? Had he so?
What? Do you think us Turks or infidels, or that we would, against the form of law, proceed thus rashly to the villain's death, had not the extreme peril of the case, our person's safety, the peace of England, enforced us to this execution?
Now fair before you, he deserved his death, and you, my good lords, both have well proceeded to warn false traitors from the like attempts.
Yet had we determined he should not die until your lordship came to see his death, which now this, the loving haste of these our friends, somewhat against our meaning, have prevented. Because, my lord, we would have had you heard the traitor speak, and timorously confess the manner and the purpose of his treaty, that you may well have signified the same unto the citizens, who happen to misconstrue us in him and wail his death.
My lord, your grace's words shall serve as well as I had seen or heard him speak. And doubt you not, right noble princes both. But I'll acquaint our duteous citizens with all your just proceedings in this course.
Go after, cousin of Button. Infer the bastardy of Edward's children. Urge his hateful luxury and bestial appetite, which stretched to their servants, their daughters, their wives. Tell them that when my mother was with child of that insatiate Edward, noble York, my princely father, then had wars in France, and by just computation of the time, found that the issue was not his begot. But touch this sparingly, as 'twere far off, because, my lady, you know, my mother lives.
Dear lord, my lord, I'll play the orator, and so, my lord, adieu.
If you thrive well, bring them to Baynard's Castle.
I go.
Go thou, Sirrah, with all speed to Dr. Shaw. Go thou to Friar Panker. Bid them both meet me within this hour at Baynard's Castle. Now will I in, to draw the brats of Clarence out of sight, and to give notice that no manner of person at any time have recourse unto the princes. How now, cousin? What say the citizens?
Now, by the Holy Mother of our Lord, the citizens are mum and speak not a word.
Touched you the bastardy of Edward's children?
I did. With his contract with Lady Lucy and his contract by Deputy in France, the insatiate greediness of his desires and his enforcement of the city wives. Withal I did infer your lineaments, being the right idea of your father, both in your form and nobleness of mind. Laid open all your victories in Scotland, your discipline in war, wisdom in peace, your bounty, virtue, fair humility. Indeed, left nothing fitting for the purpose untouched. And when mine oratory grew to an end, I bid them, that did love their country's good, cry, God save Richard, England's royal king!
Ah, and did they so?
No. So God help me, they spake not a word, but like dumb statues or breathing stones, gazed each on other and looked deadly pale.
What? Tongueless blocks were they? Would not they speak?
No, by my troth, my lord.
Will the mayor then and his brethren come?
The mayor is here at hand. Intend some fear. Be not you spoke with, but with mighty suit. And look, get a prayer book in your hand, and stand betwixt two churchmen, good my lord. For on that ground I'll build a holy descant, and be not easily won to our request. Play the maid's part, still answer nay and take it.
I go. And if you plead as well for them, as I can say nay to thee for myself, no doubt we'll bring this to a happy issue.
Go up to Leeds. The Lord Mayor knocks. Welcome, my lord. I dance attendance here. I think the Duke will not be spoke withal. Here comes his servant. How now, Catesby, what says he?
My lord.
Lady.
He does entreat your grace to visit him tomorrow or the next day. He's within with two right reverend fathers, see? And no worldly suit would he be moved to draw him from his holy exercise.
Returned, good Catesby, to thy lord again. Tell him myself, the mayor and the citizens, are come to have some conference with his grace.
I'll tell him what you say, my lady.
My lord, this prince is not an Edward. He is not lolling on a lewd love-bed, but on his knees at meditation. Happy were England with this gracious prince, take on himself the sovereignty thereof. But sure, I fear, we shall never win him to it.
Marry, God forbid his grace should say his nay.
I fear he will. How now, Catesby, what says your lord?
My lord. Lady. He wonders why you have assembled such troops of citizens to speak with him, his grace not being warned thereof. My lord, lady, he fears you mean no good to him.
Sorry I am, my noble cousin, to suspect me that I mean no good to him. By heaven, I come in perfect love to him, and so, once more, return and tell his grace. When holy and devout religious men are at their beads, 'tis hard to draw them thence. So sweet is zealous contemplation.
See what he stands between two clergymen.
Too much virtue for a Christian prince, to save him from the fall of vanity, and see a book of prayer in his hand, true ornaments to know a holy man. Famous Plantagenet, most gracious prince, lend favorable ears to our request, and pardon us the interruption of thy devotion and right Christian zeal.
My lady, there needs no such apology. I rather do beseech you pardon me, who, earnest in the service of my God, neglect the visitation of these, my friends. But leaving this, what is your grace's pleasure? I do suspect I have caused an offence, which seems disgracious in the city's eyes that you come to reprehend my ignorance.
You have, my lord. Would it might please your grace at our entities to amend that fault?
Else wherefore breathe I in this Christian land?
Then no. It is your fault that you resigned the supreme seat, the throne throne majestical, the sceptred office of your ancestors, to the corruption of a blemished stock, which to recure we heartily solicit your gracious self to take on you the charge and kingly government of this your land, not as protector, steward, substitute, or lowly factor for another's gain, but as accessible from blood to blood, your right of birth, your empery, your own.
I know not whether to depart in silence or to bitterly speak in your reproof. Your love deserves my thanks, but my desert unmeritable shuns your high request. So much is my poverty of spirit, so mighty and so many my defects, as I had rather hide me from my greatness than in my greatness covet to be hid. But God be thanked, there is no need of me. The royal tree hath left us royal fruit, which, mellowed by the stealing hours of time, will well become the seat of majesty, and make, no doubt, us happy by his reign. On him I lay what you would lay on me, the rights and fortunes of his happy stars, which God defend that I should wring from him.
My lord, this argues conscience in your grace, but the respects thereof are nice and trivial, all circumstances well considered. You say that Edward is your brother's son. So say we too, but not by Edward's wife. In an unlawful bed he got this Edward, whom our manners term the prince. More bitterly could I expostulate, save that for reverence to some alive I give a sparing limit to my tongue. Then, good my lord, take to your royal self this proffered benefit of dignity.
Do, good my lord, your citizens entreat you.
Refuse not, mighty lord, this proffered love.
Oh, make them joyous, my lord, and grant them their suit.
Would you heap these cares on me? I am unfit for state and majesty.
If you refuse it, as in love and seal, loath to dispose to child your brother's son. As well we know your tenderness of heart and gentle, kind, feminine remorse. Yet whether you accept our suit or no, your brother's son shall never reign our king. But we will plant some other in the throne, to the disgrace and downfall of your house. And in this resolution here, we leave you. Come, citizens, sounds, I'll entreat no more.
Oh, cousin of Buckingham, do not swear.
Call them again, my lord, and accept their suit.
Do, good my lord, lest all the land do rue it.
Would you enforce me to a world of care? Well, call them back. I am not made of stone, but penetrable to your kind entreaties, albeit against my conscience and my soul. Cousin of Buckingham, and you sage, brave men, since you will buckle fortune on my back, I must have patience to endure the load. But God, he knows, and you may partly see how far I am from desire thereof.
God bless your grace. We see it and will say it.
In saying it, you shall but speak the truth.
Then I salute you with this kingly title. Long live Richard, England's royal king!
Long live the king!
Who meets us here? Now for my life she's wandering to the tower on pure heart's love to greet the tender princess. Daughter, well met.
God give you grace both a happy and a joyful time of day. As much to you, good sister. Whither away? No farther than the tower, and as I guess, upon the like devotion as yourselves, to congratulate the gentle princess there. Kind sister, thanks, we'll unto all together. And in good time, here the lieutenant comes. How doth the prince and
my young son of York.
Right well, dear madam. By your patience, I may not suffer you to visit them. The king has straitly charged the contrary.
The king?
Why, who's that? I cry you mercy, I mean the Lord Protector.
The Lord Protector from that kingly title. I am the mother.
Keep me from them.
I am their father's mother. I will see them.
My aunt I am in law and love their mother. Then bring me to their side.
No, madam, no. I may not leave it so, for I am bound by oath, and therefore pardon me.
I should meet you ladies 1 hour hence. I would salute your Grace of York as Mother and Reverend de Rohan of 2 noble queens. Madam, you must straight to Westminster, there to be crowned Richard's royal queen.
Oh God, my mason Santa, that my pent heart may have some scope to be, or else I swoon with this death-killing news.
Despiteful tidings.
Unpleasing news.
Be of good cheer. Mother, how fares your grace?
If thou wilt outstrip death, go across the seas and liberate Richmond from the reach of hell. Go, lest thou increase the number of the dead, and make me die for all of Margaret's curse. No mother, wife, no England's counted queen.
Full of wise care, is your counsel, madam. Make all the swift advantage of the time. You shall have letters from me to my son to meet you and welcome you there.
Oh, ill-despising wind of misery! Oh, my cursed wound, the bed of death!
Come, madam. All haste our sent.
And I in all unwillingness will go. I would to God that the inclusive verge of golden metal that must round my brow were red-hot steel to sear me to the brain. Anointed let me be with deadly venom, and die, ere men can say, God save the queen. Go, poor soul, I envy not thy glory. Oh. When I say I looked on Richard's face, this was my wish. Be thou, quoth I, accursed for making me so young, so old a widow. And when thou wentst, let sorrow haunt thy bed, and be thy wife. If any be so mad, as miserable by the life of thee as thou hast made me by my dear Lord's death. Lo, here I can repeat this curse again, even in so short a space. My woman's heart grossly grew captive to his honey words, and proved the subject of my own soul's curse.
Farewell, thou woeful welcome of glory.
Adieu, poor soul that takest thy leave.
Go thou to Richmond, and good fortune guide thee. Go thou to Richard, and good angels guard thee. Go thou to sanctuary, and good thoughts possess thee. I to my grave, where peace and rest lie with me. 50 odd years of sorrow have I seen, and each hour strive wrecked with weak teen.
Stay! Here. Look back with me onto the tower. Rude, ragged nurse, old sullen playfellow for tender princes. Use my babies well. So foolish sore bitches stones farewell.
Stand all apart. My cousin of Buckingham.
My gracious sovereign.
Thus high, by thy advice and thy assistance, is King Richard seated. Why, Buckingham, I say I would be king.
Why, so you are my thrice renowned liege.
Am I king? 'Tis so. But young Edward lives.
True, noble prince.
True, noble prince. Cousin, thou wert not wont to be so dull. Shall I be plain? I wish the bastard's dead, and I would have it suddenly performed. What sayest thou?
Your grace may do your pleasure.
Tut, tut. Thou art all ice. Thy kindness freezeth. Say, do I have thy consent that they shall die?
Give me some breath. Some little pause, my lord, before I positively herein. I will resolve your grace immediately.
The king is angry. He bites the lip.
I will converse with iron-witted fools and unrespective boys. High-reaching Buckingham grows circumspect. You,
My lord?
knowest thou not any whom corrupting gold would tempt unto a close exploit of death?
My lord, I know a discontented gentleman, whose humble means match not his haughty mind. Gold were as good as 20 orators, and will, no doubt, tempt him to anything. His name, my lord, is Tyrell.
I partly know the man. Go, call him hither. The deep revolving, witty Buckingham no more shall be the neighbour to my counsel. How now? What news with you?
Dorset is fled to Richmond, to those parts across the sea where he abides.
Catesby.
My lord?
Rumour it abroad that Anne, my wife, is sick and like to die. Look how thou dreamest! I say again, rumour it abroad that Anne, my wife, is sick and like to die. I must be married to my brother's daughter, or else my kingdom stands on brittle glass. Murder her brothers and marry her. Uncertain way of gain. But I am in so far in blood that sin will pluck on sin. Tear-falling pity dwells not in this eye. Is thy name Tyrell?
James Tyrell, and your most obedient subject.
Art thou indeed? Darest thou resolve to kill a friend of mine?
Aye, my lord, but I'd rather kill an enemy.
Why, there thou hast it. Two deep enemies. Foes to my rest and my sweet sleeps disturbs. Tyrell, I mean those bastards in the tower.
Let me have open me succumb to them, and I shall soon rid you from the fear of them.
Ah. Thou singest sweet music. Come hither. Go. By this token, rise and lend thine ear. 'Tis no more but this. Say it is done, and I will love thee, and prefer thee too.
'Tis done, my gracious lord.
My lord, I have considered in my mind the late marriage you did sound me in.
Well, let that pass. Dorset is fled to Richmond.
I hear that news, my lord. My lord, I claim your gift, my due by promise, the earldom of Hereford and the movables, the which you promised I should possess. What says your highness to my just demand?
As I remember, Henry VI did prophesy that Richmond should be king, when Richmond was a little peevish boy. A king. Perhaps. Perhaps.
My lord!
How chance? The prophet at that time could not have told me, I, being by, that I should kill him.
My lord, your promise of the earldom!
Richmond. When last I was in Exeter, the mayor, in courtesy, showed me a castle and called it Rougemont, at which name I started, because a bard of Ireland told me once I should not long live after I saw Richmond.
My lord!
Aye. What's o'clock?
And thus bold put your grace in mind of what you promised me.
Well, then what's o'clock?
Upon the stroke of 10.
There let it strike.
Why let it strike?
Cause that like a jack, thou keepest the stroke betwixt thy begging and my meditation. I am not in the giving vein today.
Whether to solve me whether your grace will or no!
Tut tut. Thou troublest me. I am not in the vein!
Is it even so? Rewards he my true service with such contempt? May I him king for this? Let me think on Hastings and be gone, while my fearful head is on.
All hail, my sovereign liege.
Kind Tyrell, am I happy in thy news?
If to have done the thing you gave in charge begets your happiness, be happy then, for it is done, my noble lord.
Didst thou see them dead?
Aye, my lord.
And buried, gentle Tyrell?
The chaplain of the tower buried them, but how or in what place I do not know.
Come to me soon, and after supper, and thou shalt tell the process of their death. Meantime, but think how I may do thee good, and be the inheritor of thy desire. Farewell till soon. The sons of Clarence have I pent up close. The daughter Meanly have I matched in marriage. The sons of Edward sleep in Abraham's bosom, and Anne, my wife, hath bid the world good night.
My lord.
Good news or bad? Thou comest in so bluntly.
Bad news, my lord. Your wife is dead tonight. Evie is fled to Richmond, and Buckingham, backed by the hardy Welshmen, is in the field, and still her power increaseth.
Richmond troubles me more near than Buckingham and her rash-levied army. Come, muster men. My counsel is my shield. We must be brief when traitors brave the field.
So now prosperity begins to mellow and drop into the rotten mouth of death. A dire induction am I witness to, and will to France, hoping the consequence will prove as bitter, black, and tragical. Withdraw thee, wretched Margaret. Who comes here?
My young princess, my tender babes, my unblown flowers, new appearing sweets. If yet your gentle souls fly in the air, and be not fixed in doom perpetual, hover about me with your airy wings, and hear your mother's lamentation.
So many miseries have crazed my voice, that my woe-weary tongue is mute and dumb. Edward Plantagenet, why art thou dead?
Plantagenet doth quit Plantagenet. Edward for Edward pays a dying debt.
Oh, that thou wast as well for the grave as thou couldst yield a melancholy seed. Then would I hide my bones, not rest them here. Oh, at any cost of what would I?
If ancient sorrow be most reverent, give mine the benefit of scenery, and let my woes frown on the upper hand. If sorrow can admit society, tell o'er your woes again by viewing mine. I had an Edward till a Richard killed him. I had a Harry till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst an Edward till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst a Richard till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst a Clarence too, and a Richard killed him. From forth the kennel of thy womb hath crept a hellhound that doth hunt us all to death. That dog that had his teeth before his eyes thy womb let loose to chase us to our graves.
Oh, Harry's wife, triumph not in my woes. God witness with me, I have wept for thine.
Bear with me. I'm hungry for revenge, and now I cloy me with beholding it. Thy Edward, he is dead that stabbed my Edward. Thy other Edward dead. Thy Clarence, he is dead. And the beholders of this tragic play, the adulterate rivers, Hastings and Grey, untimely smothered in their dusky graves. Richard yet lives. Hell's black intelligencer. Cancel his bond of life. Dear God, I pray that I may live to say the dog is dead.
Oh, no, this prophecy the time would come that I should wish for thee to help me curse that bottled spider, that foul bunchback toad.
I call thee then, vain flourish of my fortune. I called thee then, poor shadow, painted queen, the presentation of but what I was. Where is your husband now? Where be thy brothers? Where are thy children? Wherein dost thou joy? Who soars to thee and cries, God save the queen? Where be the bending peers that flatter thee? Where be the thronging troops that followed thee? Decline all this, and see what now thou art. Thus hath the course of justice wheeled about. Now thy proud neck bears half my burthened yoke, from which even here I slip my weary neck, and leave the burthen of it all on thee. Farewell, York's wife, and queen of sad mischance. These English woes will make me smile in France.
Thou hast got in curses. Stay a while, and teach me how to curse mine enemies.
Forbear to sleep the nights, and fast the days. Compare dead happiness to living woe. Think that thy babes were fairer than they were, and he that slew them fouler than he is. Bettering thy loss will make the bad courser worse. Revolving this will teach thee how to curse.
My wits are dull.
Thy woes will make them sharp and pierce like mine.
Why should calamity be full of words?
Oh, breathing orbiters of misery. Let them have scope. Do what they do in part help not all yet. Do they ease the heart?
If so, then be not tongue-tied. Go with me, and in the breath of bitter words, let smother my damned son, with thy two sweet sons smothered. I hear his drum.
Who intercepts my expedition?
Oh, she that might have intercepted thee by strangling thee in her cursed womb. From all these slaughters, wretch that thou hast done.
Hidest thou that forehead with a golden crown, where should be graven, if that right were right, the slaughter of the prince that earned that crown, and the dire death of my two sons and brothers? Tell me, thou villain slave, where are my children?
Thou told, where is your brother Clarence? And live that Plantagenet his son?
Where is kind Hastings, Rivers, Grey?
Let not the heavens hear these telltale women rail against the Lord's anointed. Either have patience and entreat me fair, or with the clamorous reports of war, thus will I drown your exclamations.
Art thou my son?
I thank God, my father, and thyself.
Then patiently hear my impatience.
Be brief, mother, for I am in haste.
Art thou so hasty? I have stayed for thee, God knows, in anguish, pain, and agony.
And came I not, at last, to comfort thee?
No, by the Holy Rood thou knowest it well. Thou camest on earth to make the earth my hell. A grievous burden was thy birth to me. Tetchy and wayward was thy infancy. Thy school days, frightful, desperate, wild and furious. Thy prime of manhood, daring, bold, adventurous. Thy age confirmed, proud, subdued, bloody, treacherous, more mild, yet more harmful, kind and hatred.
You speak too bitterly.
Hear me a word, for I shall never speak to thee again.
So?
Either thou wilt die by God's just ordinance, ere from this world thou turn a conqueror, or I with grief and extreme age shall perish and never look upon thy face again. Therefore, take with thee my most heavy curse, which in the day of battle tire thee more than all the cushioned armor that thou wearest. My prayers on the adverse party fight, and there the little souls of Edward's children, whisper the spirits of thine enemies, and promise them success and victory. Bloody thou art, bloody will be thy end. Shame serves thy life, and doth thy death attend.
Though far more coarse, yet much less spirit to curse of ice in me, I say amen to all.
Stay, madam, for I must speak a word with you.
I have no more sons of the royal blood but each to slaughter. For my daughters, Richard, they should be praying nuns, not weeping queens. Therefore level not to hit with their lives.
You have a daughter, called Elizabeth, virtuous and fair, royal and gracious.
And must she die for this? Oh, let her live. Then I'll corrupt her manners, stain her beauty, slander myself as false to her respect.
Wrong not her blood. She is of royal birth.
To save her life, I'll say she's not so.
Her life is only safest in her birth.
And only in that safety died her brothers.
You speak as if that I had slain my cousins.
Cousins, indeed, and my uncle cousins, of comfort, kindred, kingdom, freedom, life, whose hands serve lands their tender hearts, thy head, all indirectly gave directions. No doubt the murderous knife was stolen blunt until it was whetted onto thy stone-hard heart to revel in the entrails of my lambs.
Madam, I intend more good to you and yours than ever you or yours were by me wrong.
What good is covered by the face of heaven to be discovered can do me good?
The advancement of your children, gentle lady.
Up some scaffold, there to lose their heads?
No. To the dignity and heights of honour.
Tell me, what state, what dignity, what honour givest thou to my steady child of mine? Be brief, lest there be process of thy kindness that's longer telling than thy kindness' state.
Then no. With my soul, I love thy daughter, and mean to make her queen of England.
And who dost thou mean shall be her king?
Even he that makes her queen. Who should be else?
What? Thou?
I. Even I. What think you of it, madam?
How canst thou woo her?
That would I learn of you, as one that are best acquainted with her humour.
And wilt thou learn of me?
Madam, with all my heart.
Sent to her by the man that slew her brothers, a pair of bleeding hearts, and thereon engraved Edward and York. Then haply she will weep. Therefore, present to her a handkerchief which, say to her, did drain the purple sap from her sweet brother's body, and bid her dry her weeping eyes therewith. If this inducement force her not to love, send her a story of thy noble acts. Tell her how thou madest away hungry valleys, Hongle rivers, yet for her sake, may this quick conveyance with her good Aunt Anne.
Come, come. You mock me. It is not the way to win our daughter.
Nay, there is no other way. Only lest thou just put on some other shape and not be Richard that had done all this.
Say that I did all this for love of her.
Nay, then she cannot choose but hate thee, having put love for such a bloody spoil.
Look, what is done cannot be now amended. Men shall deal unadvisedly sometimes, which after hours give leisure to repent. If I did take the kingdom from your son, to make amends, I'll give it to your daughter. If I killed the issue of your womb, to quicken your increase, I'll beget mine issue of your blood on your daughter. The loss you have is but a son being king, and by that loss your daughter is made queen. I cannot give you what amends I would. Therefore, accept such kindness as I can. Again shall you be mother to a king, and all the ruins of distressful times repaired with double riches of content. We have many goodly days ahead. Therefore, go, my mother, to thy daughter. Go make bold her bashful years with your experience. Prepare her ears to hear a wooer's tale. Put in her tender heart the aspiring flame of golden sovereignty. Acquaint the princess with the sweet, silent joys of marriage hours. And when this arm of mine hath chastised that petty rebel, dull-brained Buckingham, bound in triumphant garlands will I come, and lead thy daughter to a conqueror's bed.
What were I best to say? Her father's brother would be her lord. Shall I say her uncle? Or he that slew her brothers and her uncle? Under what title shall I move with thee that God, the law, my honour and her love can make seem pleasing to her tender years?
Infer fair England's peace by this alliance.
Which she shall purchase with still lasting more.
Say that I will love her everlasting.
But how long shall the title ever last?
Sweetly, in force, unto her fair life's end.
But how long fairly shall her sweet life last?
So long as heaven and nature lengthens it.
So long as hell and Richard likes of it.
Your reasons are too shallow and too quick.
No! My reasons are too deep in there. Too deep in there. White in their grave.
Harp not on that string, madam. That is past.
Harp on it still shall like the heartstrings break.
Why then, I swear by God.
The heart's wrong is most of all. If thou hadst fared to break an oath by God, the unity the king thy brother made had not been broken, nor my brother slain. If thou hadst fared to break an oath by God, the imperial metal now circling thy brow had graced the tender temples of my child. And both the princes had been breathing here, which now, two tender playfellows to dust, thy broken fate had made a prey for worms. What canst thou swear by now?
Heaven and fortune, bar me happy hours. Day, yield me not thy light, nor night thy rest. Be opposite, all planets of good luck, to my proceedings. if with pure heart's love, immaculate devotion, holy thoughts, I tender not thy beauteous, princely daughter. In her consists my happiness and thine. Without her, falls to this land, and thee, to herself, to thee and many a Christian soul, death, desolation, ruin, and decay. It cannot be avoided but by this. It will not be avoided but by this. Therefore, go, my mother, to thy daughter. Plead what I will be, not what I have been, not my deserts, but what I will discern.
Shall I be tempted by the devil thus?
Aye, if the devil tempt thee to do good.
Thou didst kill my children.
And in your daughter's womb I bury them.
Shall I go win my daughter to thy will?
And be a happy mother by the deed.
I go. Write to me very shortly, and you shall understand from me her mind.
Bear her my true love's kiss. And so, farewell. Relenting fool, shallow, foolish woman. How now? What news?
My gracious sovereign, on the western coast, rideth the Pusong navies to the shore, throng many doubtful, whole-hearted friends, unarmed and unresolved to beat them back. 'Tis thought that Richmond is there, admirable, and there they hold, expecting but the aid of Buckingham to welcome them ashore.
Some Lightfoot friend post to the Duchess of Norfolk. Thyself or Catesby? Where is he? Catesby!
Here, my lord.
Catesby, fly to the Duchess. Bid her levy straight the greatest strength and power she can make, and meet me presently at Salisbury.
I go.
How now, what news with you?
None good, my lord, to please you with the hearing, nor none so bad as may well be told.
Hoyday, a riddle. Neither good nor bad. Why dost thou run so many mile about? And thou mayst tell thy tale a nearer way. Once more, what news?
Richmond is on the sea.
There let him sink, and be the seas on him. White-livered runagate, what doth he there?
I know not, my lord, but I guess.
Well, sir, as you guess,
stirred up by Dorset, Buckingham, and in Ely, he rides for England, there to claim the crown.
Is the chair empty? Is the sword unswayed? Is the king dead? the empire unpossessed. What heir of York is there alive but we? And who is England's king but great York's heir? Then tell me, what doth he upon the sea?
Unless for that, my liege, I cannot guess.
Unless for that, the Welshman comes to be your liege, thou canst not guess wherefore the Welshman comes. Thou wilt revolt and fly to him, I fear it.
No, mighty sovereign, therefore mistrust me not.
Where are thy tenants then? Where are thy followers? Are they not now upon the western shore, safe conducting the rebels from their ships?
No, my gracious sovereign, my friends are in the north.
Cold friends to Richard! What do they in the north? When they should serve their sovereign in the west.
They have not been commanded, mighty sovereign. If it please your grace to give me leave, I'll go muster up my friends and meet your grace, where and upon what time it best please your grace.
Aye. Aye, thou wouldst be gone to join with Richmond. I will not trust you, sir.
My lord, you have no cause to hold my friendship doubtful. I never was, nor never will be false.
Go. Muster men. But hear you, leave behind your son, George Derby. Look, that your faith be firm, or else his head's assurance is but frail.
So deal with him as I prove true to you.
My gracious sovereign, now in Devonshire, as I, by friends, am well advertised, Sir Edward Courtney and the Holy Prelate, Bishop of Exeter, his brother there, and many more confederates on arms. In Kent, the Guildfords on arms, and every other more competitors flock to their aid, and still their power increaseth. Sir Thomas Nolan, Lady Marchioness Dorset, to set my liege in Yorkshire on arms. My lord, the army of the Duchess of Buckingham.
Out! Out on you, owl! Nothing but songs of death. Take that until thou bringest me better news.
The news I have to tell your majesty is that by sudden floods and fall of waters, Buckingham's army is dispersed and scattered, and she is all wandered away alone. No man knows whither.
Here is my purse to cure that blow of mine. Hath any well-advised friend proclaimed reward to him that brings the traitor in?
Such proclamations hath been made, my liege.
March on. Since we are up in arms, if not to fight with foreign enemies, yet to beat down these rebels here at home.
My liege, the Duchess of Buckingham is taken. That is the best news. The Earl of Richmond, with a mighty power, has landed at Milford as colder tidings. Yet they must be told.
Towards Salisbury, then. While we reason here, a royal battle may be won and lost. Someone take order that Buckingham be brought to Salisbury. The rest, march on with me.
Cardinal, tell Richmond this from me, that in this sty of this most bloody boar is my son, George Darby Franklin and Home. If I revolt, off goes young George's head. The fear of this withholds my present aid. But what of Richmond? Where is he?
At Pembroke, or at half of Western Wales.
And what men of name resort to him?
Sir Walter Herbert, a renowned soldier, Sir Gilbert Talbot, Sir William Darby, Oxford, Redacted Pembroke, Sir James Blunt, and Richard Thomas with the valiant crew, and many more of noble fame and worth, and towards London they do bend their cause, if, by the way, we not fought with all.
Good, good. Return unto thy lord. Tell him that the queen hath heartily consented for him to espouse her daughter, Elizabeth. These letters will resolve him of my mind. Go.
Therefore, be patient.
Hastings and Edward's children, Rivers, Grey, and all that have miscarried by underhand, corrupted, foul injustice. If that your moody, discontented souls do through the clouds behold this present hour, even for revenge, mock my destruction. This is All Souls Day, fellow, is it not?
It is, my lady.
Why then, All Souls Day is my body's doomsday. This All Souls Day to my fearful soul is to determine respite of my wrongs. I, O seer that I dallied with, have turned my vain prayer on my head, and given in earnest what I begged in jest. Thus doth he force the swords of wicked men to turn their own points on their master's bosom. Now Margaret's curse has fallen upon my head. When he, quoth she, shall split thy heart with sorrow. Remember, Margaret was a prophetess. Come, sirs, convey me to the block of shame. Wrong hath but wrong, and flames the dew of flame.
Fellows in arms, and my most loving friends, bruised underneath the yoke of tyranny, thus far into the bowels of the land, have we marched on without impediment. And here, receive we from our father Derby lines of fair comfort and encouragement. Rich, bloody, usurping boar, spoiled your summer fields and fruitful vines, swills your warm blood like wash, and makes his straw your emboweled bosom. This foul swine lies now even to the center of this isle, near the town of Leicester, as we learned from Tamworth, who was but one day's march. In God's name, cheer ye on, courageous friends, to reap the harvest of perpetual peace by this one bloody trial of sharp war.
Every man's conscience is 1,000 swords to fight against a bloody homicide.
I doubt not but his friends will fly to us.
He hath no friends, but who are friends for fear, which in his greatest need will shrink from him.
All for our vantage. Then, in God's name, march. True hope is swift, and flies with swallows' wings. Kings it makes gods, and meaner creatures kings.
Here, pitch our tents, even here at Bosworth Field. My Lady of Norfolk.
Yeah, Bosworth Field.
Norfolk, we must have knocks, must we not?
We must both give and take, my gracious lord.
Up with my tent then. Here will I lie tonight. Where tomorrow? All's one for that. Who hath described the number of the foe?
Yes. 6 or 7,000 is that utmost power.
Why, our battalion trebles that account. Besides, the king's name is a tower of strength, which they upon the adverse party want. Valiant gentlemen, let us survey the vantage of the field. Call up some men of sound direction. Let us want no discipline. Make no delay. For lords, tomorrow is a busy day.
The sun hath made a golden set, and by the bright track of his fiery car, gives signal of a goodly day tomorrow. Bring some ink and paper to my tent. I shall draw the form and model of our battle, limit each leader to his several charge, and part in just proportion our small strength. Yet, one thing more, good sir, before thou goes. Where is Lord Derby quartered? Dost thou know?
Unless I'm mistaken his colours by much, his regiment lies half a mile at least south of the mighty power of the king.
If without peril it be possible, good sir, bear my good nights to him, and give him from me this most needful scroll.
Upon my life, my lord, I'll undertake it, and so God give you quiet rest tonight.
Good night, good sir. Come, gentlemen, let us consult upon tomorrow's business into our tent. The air is raw and cold.
What is it o'clock?
It's supper time, my lord. 9 o'clock.
I will not sup tonight. Give me some ink and paper. Is my armor laid into my tent?
It is, my liege, and all things are in readiness.
Norfolk, hie thee to thy charge. Use careful watch, choose trusty sentinels.
And go, my lord.
Catesby,
my lord,
send out a pursuivant at arms to Derby's regiment. Bid him bring his power before sunrising, lest his son George fall into the blind cave of eternal night. Give me some wine. Look that my staves be sound and not too heavy. Ratcliffe!
My lord?
Ratcliffe, sawest thou the melancholy lord Northumberland?
Tyrell and himself, much
much about courtship time, from troop to troop and through the army, cheering up the soldiers.
So, I am satisfied. Give me a bowl of wine. I have not that alacrity of spirit, nor cheer of mind that I was wont to have. Set it down. Is ink and paper ready?
Yes, my lord.
Ratcliffe, bid my guard watch, and leave me. Ratcliffe, about the mid of night, come to my tent and help to arm me. Leave me, I said!
Fortune and victory sits on your helm.
All comfort that a thy knight can afford be to thy person, noble father-in-law. Tell me, how fares our loving mother?
I, by eternity, bless thee from thy mother, who prays continually for Richmond's good. But so much for that. The silent hour steals on, and flaky darkness breaks within the east. In brief, for so the season bids us be, prepare thy battle early in the morning, and set your fortune to the arbitrament of bloody strokes and mortal starring war. I, as I may, that which I would, I cannot, with best advantage will deceive the time and aid thee in this doubtful shove of arms. Yet, on thy side I may not be too forward, lest being seen, your brother, tender George, be executed in his father's sight. Farewell. Leisure and the fearful time cuts off these ceremonious vows of love and ample interchanges of sweet discord that so long-sundered friends should dwell upon. God, give us leisure for these rites of love. Once more, adieu. Be valiant, and speed well.
Kind lords, conduct him to his regiment. I shall strive with troubled thoughts to take a nap, lest leaden slumber pies me down tomorrow, where I should mount with wings of victory. Once more, kind lords and gentlemen, good night. O thou, whose captain I account myself, look upon my forces with a gracious eye. Make us thine ministers of chastisement, that we may praise thee in the victory. To thee I do commend my watchful soul, ere I let fall the windows of mine eyes. Waking and sleeping, oh, defend me still.
Let me sit heavy on thy soul, I that was washed to death by fulsome wine. Poor Clarence, by thy guile betrayed to death. Tomorrow in battle think on me, and fall thy edgeless sword, despair and die.
Let me sit heavy on thy soul tomorrow. Rivers who died at Pomfrey Castle, despair and die.
Think about Bray, and let your soul despair.
Bloody and guilty, guiltily awake, and in a bloody battle end thy days. Think on Lord Hastings, despair and die.
Dream on thy cousin smothered in the tower. Let us be led within thy bosom, Richard, and weigh thee down to ruin, shame, and death. Thy nephew's souls bid thee despair and die.
Richard, thy wife, that wretched and thy wife, that never slept a quiet hour with thee, now fill your sleep with perturbation. Tomorrow in the battle think on me, and fall thy edgeless sword, despair and die.
The last was I that helped thee to the crown. Alas was I that felt thy tyranny. Oh, in the battle, think on Buckingham, and die in terror of thy guiltiness. Dream on of bloody deeds and death, fainting despair, despairing yield thy breath.
Give me another horse. Bind up my wounds. Have mercy, Jesu. Soft. I did but dream. O coward conscience! How dost thou afflict me? The lights burn blue. It is now dead midnight. Cold, fearful drops stand on my trembling flesh. What should I fear? Myself? There is none else by. Richard loves Richard. That is, I am I. Is there a murderer here? No. Yes. I am. Then fly. What? From myself? Great reason why. Lest I revenge. What? Myself upon myself. Alas, I love myself. Wherefore? For any good that I myself have done unto myself. No. I rather hate myself. For hateful deeds committed by myself. My conscience hath 1,000 several tongues, and every tongue brings with it a several tale, and every tale condemns me for a villain. Perjury. Perjury in the highest degree. Shall despair. There is no soul that loves me, and if I die, no creature shall pity me. Nay, wherefore should they? Since that I myself find in myself no pity to myself. Methought the souls of all that I had murdered came to my tent, and every one thread tomorrow's vengeance on the head of Richard.
My lord?
Surrounds... Who is there?
Radcliffe, my lord. 'Tis I. Your friend servant brought on the armour.
Radcliffe, I have dreamed a fearful dream. Thinkest thou our friends will prove true?
No doubt, my lord.
Radcliffe, I fear.
Nay, good my lord. Be not afraid of shadows.
By the Apostle Paul, shadows tonight have struck more terror to the soul of Richard than can 10,000 soldiers armed and proof and led by shallow Richmond.
Good morrow, Richmond. How is that, my lord?
The sweetest sleep and fairest boding dreams that ever entered into a drowsy head have I had since your departure, my lords. Was as though the souls whose bodies Richard murdered came to my tent and cried on victory. How fine the morning is, lords?
Upon the stroke of 4.
Why then 'tis time to arm and give direction.
Arm! Arm, my lord! The foe walls in the fields.
Call up Lord Derby's regiment. Bid him bring his power.
Good direction, warlike sovereign.
Let not our babbling dreams affright our souls. Conscience is but a word that cowards use.
More than I have said, loving countrymen.
What shall I say? More than I have inferred.
God and our good cause fight upon our side. Those whom we fight against had rather have us win than him they follow.
Remember whom you are to cope withal. A scum of Bretons and base lackey peasants, whom their overcloyed country vomits forth to desperate ventures and assured destruction.
For what is he they follow? Truly, gentlemen, a bloody tyrant and a homicide. One raised in blood and one in blood established. One that made means to come by what he hath and slaughter those the word means to help him.
And who doth lead them? But a paltry fellow, long kept in Britain at our mother's cost. A milksop, one that never in his life felt as much cold as overshoes in snow.
If you do fight in the safeguard of your wives shall welcome home the conquerors. If you do free your children from the sword, your children's children quitted in your age.
If we be conquered, let men conquer us, and not these bastard Bretons. Shall these enjoy our lands, lie with our wives, ravish our daughters?
Then, in the name of God and all these rights, sound drums and trumpets boldly and cheerfully.
Hark, I hear their drum. Fight, gentlemen of England. Fight, bold yeomen. Draw, archers, draw your arrows to the head. Spur your proud horses hard, and ride in blood.
Advance your standards. Draw your welling swords. Guard and St. George, Richmond and victory.
Richmond and victory! My lord! My lord, Lord Derby doth tonight to come.
Off with his son George's head.
My lord, the enemy is past the marsh. After the battle, let George Derby die.
Advance our standards. Set upon our foes. Victory sits on our helms. for a...
God, and yours be praised, victorious prince. The day is ours. The bloody dog is dead.
Now, young Richmond, this long usurped royalty, use it, wear it, make much of it.
England hath long been mad and scarred herself. The brother blindly shed the brother's blood. The father rashly slaughtered his own son. All this divided York and Lancaster. Oh now, let Richmond and Elizabeth, the true succeeders of each royal house, by God's fair ordinance conjoin together. And God, if thy will be so, let their heirs enrich the time to come with smooth-faced peace, with smiling plenty, and fair, prosperous days. Now civil wounds are stopped. Peace lives again. That she may long live here, God say amen.